Chapter 1. Learning English can feel like unlocking a treasure chest. Every word you learn, every sentence you say is like finding a shiny gold coin. And here's the best part. This treasure can open doors to new friends, exciting opportunities, and adventures you never imagined. The secret to finding more treasure? Take it one step at a time. Each small effort brings you closer to something big. Let me start by telling you something very important. English is not just about learning words or grammar. It is about using it in everyday life. It is about feeling confident when you speak. It is about understanding others and being understood. Little by little, you can make this happen. In English, we have 4 main skills to focus on: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. These are like the roots of that tree. The stronger your roots, the taller your tree grows. So every skill you practice helps make your English stronger. Let's think about speaking first. Speaking is the skill that many people feel nervous about, but don't worry. Many people start speaking with little sentences. For example, I like coffee. This sentence is small, but it is clear and correct. Then, day by day, you can add more. For example, I like coffee in the morning. Or, I like coffee in the morning because it makes me feel fresh. Just like that, you make your sentences longer and better. Listening is another important skill. When you listen, you learn how to say words correctly. You also learn how people put words together. For example, you can watch a short video or listen to a song. Focus on what you hear. If you hear a new word, try to repeat it. The more you listen, the clearer it gets. Now let's talk about reading. Reading helps you learn new words. It also helps you understand how sentences work. You can start with simple texts. For example, try reading something like, "The cat is on the mat." Once that is easy, move to something harder like, "The little cat is sitting quietly on the soft gray mat." With reading, the more you read, the stronger your vocabulary becomes. Writing is the last skill for today. Writing helps you practice what you know. For example, you can write a short note in your notebook. Today is sunny. I feel happy. This is simple, but it helps you use English. Over time, you can write longer sentences or even a story. I want to remind you of something. Mistakes are okay. When you are learning something new, like English, mistakes are your teachers. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. So don't be afraid to speak, write, or try. The key to success in English is this. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. The more you listen, the clearer it gets. The more you focus, the faster you improve. Each practice brings you closer to fluency. Here's one more tip to help you. Break your learning into small steps. For example, learn how to greet someone in English. You can start with, "Hello, how are you?" Practice saying this every day. Then learn how to answer, "I'm fine. How about you?" Once you know simple greetings, move to something new like asking for directions or talking about your day. Always believe in yourself. Every new word you learn, every sentence you speak is a step forward. Try to speak English every single day, even if it's just a little. Don't rush. Learning English is a journey. Enjoy the journey and celebrate every small success. Chapter 2. Welcome back. I'm so happy you're here for Chapter 2. Let me start by saying this. The journey to learning a new language might feel like climbing a tall mountain. At the bottom, it seems high and far, but step by step, you get closer to the top. And when you reach that top, you'll feel proud and amazed at how far you've come. Keep climbing little by little. Today, let's focus on one of the most useful aspects of learning English: basic conversation. Imagine meeting someone for the first time. What do you say? How do you respond? These small conversations might look simple, but they are powerful. They are the foundation of communication. Let's start with greetings. In English, greetings are a way to say hello and make someone feel welcome. A very common way to greet someone is with, "Hi, how are you?" Now, let's think about how to answer. If you are feeling good, you can say, "I'm good, thank you. How about you?" If you're not feeling great, you can say, "I'm a little tired," or "I'm feeling okay." These are polite and natural ways to start a chat. Now ask yourself this: how would you greet someone in English? Don't be shy. Try saying it out loud. "Hi, how are you?" Or even, "Hello, nice to meet you." Talking to yourself, even in the quiet of your room, is a great way to practice. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. Next, let's talk about asking questions. Asking questions helps to keep the conversation alive. For example, you can ask, "Where are you from?" Or, "What do you like to do in your free time?" These are safe and simple questions to get to know someone better. And when someone asks you, "Where are you from?" you can say, "I'm from your country." Easy, right? See how it flows naturally step by step? Let me give you another helpful sentence for conversations. If you don't understand something, don't panic. It's okay to say, "I'm sorry, can you repeat that?" Or, "I'm learning English. Can you speak slowly, please?" These sentences show that you're trying, and most people will be happy to help. Another great phrase is, "It's nice to meet you." You can say this when you meet someone for the first time. It makes the other person feel respected and appreciated. Little sentences like this can make conversations easy and friendly. The more you practice these, the easier it becomes. Here's something fun you can do today. Imagine a simple conversation in English. For example, picture yourself at a park and someone says, "Hi, how are you?" What would you say back? How could you make the conversation longer? Pretend to talk to this person in your mind, step by step. This practice is small, but it helps. Now let's talk about feelings and emotions. In conversations, people often talk about how they feel. Let's say someone asks, "How do you feel today?" You can answer with words like happy, tired, excited, or nervous. For example, "I feel excited because today is sunny," or "I feel tired because I slept late." Practicing emotions helps you express yourself better, and that's important when speaking English. A small challenge for you. In one day, try to greet someone in English. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, or even your pet. When you say, "Hi, how are you?" out loud, it starts to feel natural. Remember, practice doesn't need to be perfect. Mistakes are your guide, not your enemy. I want to share this powerful reminder. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. The more you practice patience, the calmer you feel. Learning any language is about repeating, trying, and learning again. You are building something meaningful, and every single effort counts. When I was helping one of my students, her name was Amelia, she struggled at first to stay calm in conversations. She would freeze and get stuck on words, but every day she practiced 3 small things: greeting others, asking one question, and replying with one feeling. "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good, thank you," became her daily habit. Little by little, her confidence grew, and now she can chat with ease. If Amelia can do it, so can you. Remember, a chat does not need to be long or perfect to be meaningful. Even short conversations make a big difference. So today, try something small. Maybe just say, "Hi," or "Hello, how are you?" to someone. Each word brings you closer to mastering English step by step. You're doing amazing. Keep climbing that mountain. Chapter 3. Welcome to Chapter 3. I'm so excited that you're here again. You're doing an amazing job taking one chapter at a time. Remember, learning English is like building a big, strong house. In the last chapters, we started with the foundation, simple greetings and conversations. Now we're going to add more bricks to this house by exploring how to talk about yourself and your daily life. Talking about yourself in English is very important. It helps people understand who you are, where you're from, and the things you like. Imagine meeting someone new. They ask you, "Tell me about yourself." What do you say? You want to share simple, clear information that makes sense and sounds natural. Let's start with your name. If someone asks, "What's your name?" you can reply, "My name is your name," or simply, "I'm your name." For example, "I'm Alice," or "My name is Michael." See how easy that is? Next, let's talk about where you're from. If someone says, "Where are you from?" you can answer, "I'm from your country or city." For example, "I'm from Brazil," or "I'm from a small town in India." Maybe you're from a big city. You could say, "I'm from New York City." Try saying this right now. "I'm from your place." Saying it out loud helps you get better at speaking. Now let's move to age. If someone asks, "How old are you?" you can say, "I'm your age, years old." For example, "I'm 25 years old," or simply, "I'm 25. This is a common question, especially when meeting someone for the first time. Another great detail to share is about your family. You can say something like, "I live with my parents," or "I have one sister and two brothers." If you're married, you can say, "I'm married," and if not, "I'm single." Talking about your family is a nice way to connect with others. Now let's talk about your hobbies and interests. This part is always fun. If someone asks, "What do you like to do?" you can say, "I like to read books," or "I enjoy playing soccer," or even, "I love listening to music." For example, "I love watching movies in my free time." Hobbies show your personality, and they give people something to talk about with you. Here's a tip. Try to memorize key sentences about yourself. Practice saying things like, "I'm your name," "I'm from your place," "I like your hobby." For example, "I'm Ava. I'm from Mexico. I like cooking Italian food." These simple sentences will help you feel ready anytime someone asks about you. Let's also talk about your daily life. People often ask questions like, "What do you do every day?" Think about simple things you do. Maybe you wake up at 7 a.m. You could say, "I wake up at 7 in the morning." If you go to work or school, you can say, "I go to work," or "I go to school." If you like taking a walk in the evening, you can say, "I take a walk in the evening." Try to think of 3 things you do every day and put them into sentences. I wake up, I go to work, and I read before bed. Remember, you don't need to say everything at once. Keep it simple. For example, if someone asks, "What do you do in your free time?" you can simply say, "I like reading books." That one sentence is enough to answer the question politely. It's also important to talk about what you do. If you're a student, you can say, "I'm a student." If you have a job, you can say, "I work as a job name." For example, "I work as a teacher," or "I'm a doctor." If you don't work, You can simply say, "I'm not working right now." These short, clear answers help people understand your life. Here's a little challenge for you. Try writing a short introduction about yourself. Write 4 or 5 sentences. For example, my name is James. I'm from Canada. I'm 30 years old. I like playing basketball. I work as a computer engineer. Once you write it, practice saying it aloud. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. Learning how to talk about yourself is the key to starting good conversations. When people know more about you, they feel closer to you and want to talk more. It's like opening the door to better communication. And remember, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. I remember one of my students, Elijah, who was very shy at first. He didn't know how to introduce himself in English. So I helped him practice a simple introduction every morning. Little by little, he improved. A few weeks later, I saw him confidently introducing himself to a new classmate, saying, "Hi, I'm Elijah. I'm a student. I'm from Australia, and I love playing the guitar." It made me so happy to see him grow. You can do this too. Take one step today. Talk about yourself to your mirror or a friend. Say your name, where you're from, and one thing you like. These small actions make a big difference over time. And always remember, while learning English, the more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. You are doing incredible, one chapter at a time. Keep going strong, my friend. Chapter 4. Welcome to Chapter 4. Can I just say how proud I am of you for coming this far? Every word you've practiced, every sentence you've read, brings you closer to mastering English. Learning English is not about how fast you go. It's about staying steady and making progress step by step. So take a deep breath, smile, and let's dive into this exciting chapter. Today, we're going to explore something that makes English very useful in real life. Asking for things politely and using manners. Imagine you're visiting a new place or meeting someone for the first time. Knowing how to ask for something politely can make every conversation smoother and more enjoyable. It's like having a magic key that opens doors wherever you go. Let's begin with a very basic situation. Imagine you're at a cafe and you want to order something. You can say, "Can I have a coffee, please?" Or, "Could I have a sandwich, please?" Adding "please" at the end of your request makes it polite. People love polite words, and using them helps create good communication. When someone gives you something, it's important to say, "Thank you." For example, "Here's your coffee." You can reply, "Thank you." Showing gratitude in small ways can make conversations feel warm and happy. Yes, even these simple words like "please" and "thank you" have so much meaning. Now let's talk about asking for help. Asking for help is very common, especially if you are learning English. If you don't understand something, you can say, "Excuse me? Can you help me?" Or, "Can you explain this, please?" For example, imagine you're lost and you need directions. You could say, "Excuse me, can you tell me where the nearest bus stop is?" Or if you don't know how to pronounce a word, you can say, "Can you help me pronounce this word, please?" Simple, isn't it? Another polite way to ask for things is by saying, "Would you mind?" This is useful when asking someone to do something for you. For example, "Would you mind opening the window?" Or, "Would you mind showing me how this works?" Even if the request is small, this phrase makes it sound very considerate and kind. Let's talk about saying sorry. Sometimes things go wrong, and that's okay. A good way to fix it is by saying, "I'm sorry." For example, if you bump into someone accidentally, you can say, "I'm sorry." Or if you're late to meet a friend, you can say, I'm really sorry for being late. Apologizing with kind words lets people know you care. Here's another helpful phrase. Excuse me. This is a magic phrase. You can use it to get someone's attention politely. For example, if you're at a store and you need help, you can say, "Excuse me, can you help me find this item?" Or, if you need someone to move out of the way, you can say, "Excuse me, can I get by?" It's a polite way to start a conversation or ask for something. Let's imagine a real-life scenario. You're in a restaurant, and the waiter approaches you. They ask, "What would you like to order?" You can reply, "Can I have a glass of water, please?" Then, after the waiter brings your water, you can say, "Thank you very much." See how polite and easy that sounds? These small interactions make conversations smooth and successful. Another situation. Imagine you're at a train station. You don't know which platform your train is on. You meet someone and ask, "Excuse me, can you tell me where platform 5 is, please?" Notice how adding "excuse me" and "please" makes your request polite and respectful. People are more likely to help when you use these words. Now let me remind you that learning polite words and phrases will not only improve your English, but also help you in making new friends and connections. Manners are like the little flowers in your conversation. They make everything look and feel good. If you're feeling shy about starting conversations, don't worry. It's natural. One small sentence can grow into a full conversation. Let me give you some practice sentences. "Excuse me, where is the nearest park? Can I have an extra napkin, please? I'm sorry for interrupting, but can you help me?" Try saying these out loud. The more you say them, the more natural they'll feel. The more you listen and speak, the better you'll become. You're building your confidence one word at a time. I once had a student named Charlotte. She always felt nervous to speak English, especially when asking for something. She thought people might laugh at her mistakes. But I told her, "Charlotte, every time you practice a polite sentence, you grow your confidence." She started saying things like, "Excuse me" and "thank you" in small daily interactions, like at the store or to a bus driver. Slowly, her nerves disappeared. One day she told me, "I asked for directions in English today and it felt so easy. That made me so happy." Remember, you can do this too. Your practice challenge for today. Use polite words in English at least once. You can start with a simple "excuse me" or "thank you" to someone near you, or even just practice it at home. Write down phrases you'd like to use and say them to yourself. For example, "Excuse me, can you repeat that, please?" "Can I borrow your pen, please? Thank you for your help." Remember, practice is your best friend. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Step by step, you will feel more natural and confident in your speaking. Learning polite phrases is not just about language. It's about connecting with people. And you, my friend, are doing an excellent job at taking that step. Keep practicing, and remember, you are climbing the language mountain like a champion. Chapter 5. Welcome to Chapter 5. You are doing such an amazing job. Every small effort you've made so far is building your confidence, making your English stronger, and helping you move closer to fluency. Today, let's dig into something that you'll use almost every day, talking about time, days, and schedules. Time is a big part of our daily lives. We talk about what time we wake up, when we go to work, and what plans we have for the weekend. Knowing how to talk about time in English is very useful, and it isn't as hard as it may seem. Step by step, you'll get the hang of it. Let's begin with the basics, telling the time. Imagine someone asks you, "What time is it?" If it's 7 o'clock, you can say, it's 7 o'clock. If it's 7:30, you can say, it's 7:30. And if it's 7:15, you can say, it's 7:15. These phrases are simple, and they sound natural. If you don't know the exact time, you can still answer. For example, if it's around 7:10, you can say, it's about 7, or it's a little after 7. This is a good way to be helpful even when you're not sure of the exact time. Try saying this out loud. It's 7 o'clock, it's 7:30, it's 7:15. Practicing aloud makes it easier to remember. Next, let's talk about parts of the day. In English, we divide the day into morning, afternoon, evening, and night. For example, morning is from sunrise until noon. Afternoon is from noon, 12 p.m., to about 5 p.m. Evening is after 5 p.m., and night is when it's dark, usually after 8 p.m. Knowing these words will help you explain your schedule better. For example, I wake up in the morning, or I eat dinner in the evening. If you need to ask someone about their plans, you can say, what time do you usually wake up? Or, what do you do in the evening? Questions like these are very common and easy to practice. When someone asks you the same question, you can reply, I usually wake up at 6:30. Or, in the evening, I watch TV. Now let's talk about days. There are 7 days in a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If someone asks, what day is it today? You can say, it's Monday, or it's Friday. Simple sentences like this are very helpful in daily conversations. You can also use days to talk about your schedule. For example, I have English class on Tuesday, or I go to the market on Sunday. Here's a little trick to remember the days. Always think about your weekly routine. What do you do on which day? For example, I work Monday to Friday, and I relax on Saturday and Sunday. Saying this out loud as part of your practice will help you memorize the days quickly. Now let's put it all together and talk about schedules. A schedule is your plan for the day or week. If someone asks, what's your schedule like? You can reply with simple sentences. For example, in the morning I go to work at 8 o'clock. In the afternoon I have lunch at 12:30. In the evening I take a walk at 6 o'clock. Schedules are a wonderful way to organize your thoughts and talk about what you do. Try writing your own schedule. Start with 3 sentences. I wake up at time, I work study in the morning, afternoon, I relax in the evening. Practicing these sentences will make talking about time feel natural. Here's a question for you. What time do you usually wake up? Think about how you might answer in English. You could say, I wake up at 7 a.m. Or you could say, I wake up early in the morning. The key is to keep practicing how to use time in sentences. Let's also talk about the weekend. In most places, the weekend means Saturday and Sunday. If someone asks, what do you usually do on the weekend? You can say, I spend time with my family, or I go shopping, or simply, I relax at home. Try using this sentence. On the weekend, I like to your favorite activity. If you want to talk about the future, you can use the word will. For example, on Saturday, I will go to the park. If someone asks, what will you do tomorrow? You can reply, tomorrow, I will study. These are small, simple sentences, but they help you talk about your plans. Now, here's something fun you can try. Write down your plans for tomorrow, or even your whole week. Write sentences like, at 9 o'clock I will go to work, or on Friday I will visit my friend. Once you write them, say them out loud. The more you write, the easier it flows. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. Let me remind you that talking about time and schedules isn't just about using a clock, it's about sharing your life. When you tell someone what you're doing or when you're free, it brings your conversation to life. Even short phrases like, "I'll call you at 5 o'clock" or "see you on Monday" can make a big difference in your daily interactions. One of my students, Noah, loved talking about his weekly schedule. When he started, he could only say, "I wake up." But after practicing for a few weeks, he learned to say, "I wake up at 6:30 on weekdays. I work in the morning, and in the evening, I exercise." Had you seen him at the start, you wouldn't believe how natural he sounds now. Noah practiced little sentences every day. If he can do it, you can too. Your challenge today is simple. Answer this question in English. What time do you wake up, and what do you do in the morning? Say your answer out loud, or write it down. For example, I wake up at 7 a.m. In the morning, I eat breakfast and check my phone. Every time you practice, you grow a little stronger in English. Remember, the more you practice, the clearer it gets. Talking about time, days, and schedules helps organize your thoughts and makes you sound natural. Keep building your confidence step by step, day by day. You're doing fantastic, and I'm so proud of you. Let's keep going. You're climbing higher and higher with every word. Chapter 6. Welcome to Chapter 6. Wow, look how far you've already come. You're building your English skills one brick at a time, and it makes me so proud to see your progress. Remember, learning a language is like watering a plant. Every little drop of effort, day by day, helps it grow into something strong and beautiful. Today's chapter is all about one very important topic: describing people, places, and things. Knowing how to describe things around us is a big part of communication. When you describe something, you help others see, feel, or understand it better. Imagine you meet someone and they ask, "What does your friend look like?" Or maybe they say, "Can you describe your hometown?" Learning how to describe people, places, and things will make your conversations richer and more interesting. Let's start with describing people. When we describe people, we often talk about how they look, their personality, or what they're wearing. For example, if someone asks, "What does Sarah look like?" you might say, "She's tall and has long brown hair." If someone asks, "What kind of person is Jack?" you could say, "He's very kind and funny." Describing someone's looks and personality helps create a clear picture. Here are some words you can use to describe people. Hair: long, short, curly, straight, blonde, brown, black. Height: tall, short, medium height. Build: body size. Slim, muscular, heavy, thin. Personality: friendly, funny, shy, kind, helpful, quiet. Now, try this. Think about your best friend or a family member. How would you describe them in English? For example, "My best friend is friendly and smart. She has short, dark hair." Or, "My brother is tall and funny. He wears glasses." Practicing these sentences helps you build confidence. Next, let's talk about places. Imagine someone asks about your hometown. How would you describe it? You could start with simple ideas like size, it's a small town, location, it's near the mountains, or what it's famous for, it's known for its beautiful beaches. For example, "My hometown is quiet and peaceful. It's a small village surrounded by hills." Or, "I live in a big city. It's noisy but full of energy and fun." To describe a place, you can use words like size, big, small, medium-sized, noise, quiet, noisy, peaceful. Location: near the sea, in the countryside, in a busy city. Feeling: beautiful, old, modern, friendly. Here's a tip. If you're not sure how to start, just describe what you see in your hometown. Are there trees, buildings, rivers, or markets? For example, in my town there is a big park, and the streets are wide and clean. Writing about places makes it even easier to talk about them. Now, let's talk about things. Describing objects is a little simpler because you can focus on size, color, shape, or what the object is used for. For example, if someone asks, "What does your backpack look like?" you can say, "It's black and small. It has a zipper and 2 pockets." Or if they ask about your favorite book, you can say, "It's a big red book with pictures inside." Try this exercise. Look around the room and choose one object. It could be your phone, your bag, or even a cup on the table. Ask yourself, what color is it? How big is it? What is it used for? Now practice saying these answers in sentences out loud. For example, the phone is black, small, and very light. I use it to talk to my family. Describing things becomes even more fun when you practice with real-life examples. Imagine you have to explain something to someone who has never seen it. For example, what is a bicycle? You could say, a bicycle is a metal frame with 2 wheels. You sit on it and pedal to go forward. Breaking it down step by step helps you explain it clearly. Here's a fun thought. When you're learning to describe people, places, and things, you're also learning how to tell stories and share your life. Let's make it lively by putting everything together. Pretend someone asks you about your favorite park. You might say something like, "My favorite park is big and green. It has tall trees, clean benches, and a small lake. It's a very peaceful place where families come to relax." Doesn't that sound beautiful? One of my students, Amelia, used to feel unsure about describing things in English. She would say, "The place is good," or "The person is nice," which are fine, but very simple. I encouraged her to add more details. For example, instead of saying, "The park is good," she learned to say, "The park is big, green, and full of flowers." Little by little, her descriptions became better, and soon she could describe anything comfortably. If Amelia can do it, I know you can too. Let me give you a small challenge today. Choose one person, one place, and one thing, and try to describe them. Maybe you describe your best friend, your room, and your favorite object. Write one sentence for each. For example, my best friend is tall and friendly. My room is small but very comfortable. My favorite object is my phone. It's silver and light. Once you write them, practice saying them aloud. This extra step helps you feel ready for real conversations. The more you describe, the easier it becomes. Remember this as you practice. The more you focus, the faster you improve. And don't be afraid to get creative. Add colors, shapes, feelings, and little details to your descriptions. For example, instead of saying the tree is green, say the tall tree is bright green, with small leaves swaying in the wind. Doesn't that make the image clearer? Talking about people, places, and things adds so much life to your English. With every sentence you practice, you're growing stronger, braver, and more fluent. Keep practicing these descriptions because the better you describe, the more connected you'll feel to the people around you. Remember, you're not just learning English. You're learning to share your world with others. One word at a time, one step at a time, and your English will shine brighter every day. Keep going. You are doing so well. Together we're getting closer to your goals. Let's keep climbing that mountain. Chapter 7. Welcome to Chapter 7. You've made it all the way here, and that shows your dedication and energy. Do you know what I love about learning English? It's like building a bridge. Each new word or skill connects you to new people, cultures, and opportunities, and your bridge is getting stronger and longer each day. So, give yourself a big smile. You're doing fantastic. In this chapter, let's talk about something that makes conversations even more real. Talking about past experiences and events. Sharing what has already happened in your life lets others know you better. It also helps you become a better storyteller, which makes conversations feel more fun and natural. Talking about the past in English is like stepping back in time. To do this, we need to use something called the past tense. Don't worry if it sounds tricky now. I'll guide you step by step, and you'll be using past tense sentences in no time. Trust me, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. So, let's start. Imagine someone asks you, "What did you do yesterday?" This question invites you to talk about a past action. A simple answer could be, "I watched a movie," or "I visited the park." Do you notice how the verbs change to talk about the past? Instead of saying watch, we used watched. Instead of visit, we used visited. This is how regular verbs change in the past. They usually add or ed. Here are some examples with regular verbs in past tense. I played soccer yesterday. We cooked dinner together. She cleaned her room in the morning. Take a moment to think about your day yesterday. What did you do? Maybe you can say, I walked to the market, or I listened to music. Practicing these simple sentences will help you remember how to talk about the past. But not all verbs follow the asterisked rule. Some verbs are irregular, which means they change in a different way. For example, go becomes went. Example, I went to the store yesterday. Eat becomes ate. Example, I ate pizza for lunch. See becomes saw. Example, I saw my friend at the park. Here's a tip. Irregular verbs don't follow a clear pattern, so it helps to memorize the common ones little by little. Don't rush. Learn a few each day, and soon they'll feel natural to you. Now let's add more details to sentences about the past. Instead of simply saying, I went to the park, how about saying, I went to the park in the evening and it was peaceful? Adding details makes your sentences more colorful and interesting. Think back to something you did recently. What details can you add? For example, I cooked dinner last night and I made pasta. Try saying it out loud. It gets easier the more you do it. Sometimes you might want to ask others about their past. To do this, you can use the question word did. For example, did you watch the match last night? Did you visit your grandparents last weekend? Did you enjoy the movie? Notice how the verb after did stays in its base form. Watch, visit, enjoy, because the word did already shows the past. Isn't that interesting and easy to follow? Next time you're talking with someone, try asking them, did you do anything fun yesterday? This is a great way to keep a conversation going. Let's shift to talking about specific moments in the past, like birthdays, trips, or fun events. For example, I celebrated my birthday last month. We had a small party, and I got a nice gift. Or, last summer, I went to the beach with my family. We swam all day and ate ice cream. Can you think of a fun time you had recently? How would you explain it in English? Take a moment to say or write a short story about it. For example, last weekend, I visited my friend. We talked for hours and played some games. It was so much fun. Sometimes, we also talk about how a past event made us feel. For this, you can use words like happy, excited, tired, or nervous. For example, I felt happy because I met my old friends. I was tired after cleaning the house all morning. I felt excited about my trip to the mountains. Now think about your own story. After describing what happened, try adding how it made you feel. For example, I went to a new restaurant last night. The food was delicious, and I felt really happy. This makes your sentences complete and meaningful. Let me share a little story about my student Jacob. Jacob once told me he felt stuck when talking about his weekend in English. He could only say, "I watched TV." But over time, he practiced adding more to his stories. He started saying, "I watched TV with my family yesterday. We watched a funny movie, and I laughed a lot." Now Jacob can tell full stories about his daily life, and he feels so confident. If Jacob could do it step by step, so can you. Here's your practice challenge for this chapter. Take a moment to think about what you did last weekend. Write 3 sentences about it in English. For example, I went shopping on Saturday. I cleaned my house in the afternoon. I ate dinner with my family, and we talked about our day. If you want to make it more fun, imagine talking to a friend. Practice saying these sentences out loud, just like you're having a conversation. Remember, the more you speak, the more confident you feel. Whenever you feel unsure, just remind yourself that talking about the past is like telling a story. Start small. Say what happened, when it happened, and how it made you feel. These 3 simple steps can help you build clear and natural sentences. Lastly, don't be afraid of mistakes. Every mistake you make is a sign that you're trying, and every try brings you closer to fluency. Remember this: the more you practice, the faster you improve. With each word you use, each sentence you create, you're building yourself into a stronger and more confident English speaker. So go ahead, tell your story in English today, even if it's just to yourself. Your bridge to better communication is getting longer and stronger with each chapter. Keep going. You're doing a fantastic job. I can't wait to see where your practice takes you in the next steps of this journey. Chapter 8. Welcome to Chapter 8. You've been doing such an incredible job. We're building something amazing together here. Every word you learn, every sentence you say, is one step closer to speaking English with confidence. Do you feel that progress? I hope you're feeling proud of all the hard work you've done so far. Today we'll focus on a topic that makes conversations lively and full of emotion: sharing your likes, dislikes, and opinions. Talking about what you like and dislike is one of the easiest ways to connect with people. It's great for conversations because it helps others learn more about you and what you enjoy. Imagine someone asking, "What's your favorite food?" or "Do you like music?" These are friendly, everyday questions that you'll often hear, so let's learn how to answer them confidently. Let's begin with likes. When you talk about things you enjoy, use the phrases "I like," "I love," or "I enjoy." For example, I like pizza. I love swimming. I enjoy reading books. Do you notice how easy that is? You can also add details to make your answers more interesting. For example, I like pizza because it's so delicious. I love swimming in the sea during summer. I enjoy reading books about history. Can you try talking about something you like? Think about your favorite food, hobby, or activity. Say it out loud right now. I like or I love. Practicing these simple sentences will help you build confidence. Now, let's talk about dislikes. When you don't like something, you can use phrases like, I don't like, I'm not a fan of, or I hate. For example, I don't like loud music. I'm not a fan of spicy food. I hate cleaning my room. If you want to sound polite while sharing dislikes, you can soften your sentence by adding, really. For example, I don't really like coffee. I'm not really a fan of big crowds. Let's practice. What's something you don't enjoy? Maybe there's a food you avoid or a chore you dislike. Say it out loud. For example, I don't like, or I'm not a fan of. When you practice, it starts to feel natural. Here's a tip. When you share likes and dislikes in a conversation, ask the other person about theirs. For example, I love chocolate ice cream. What about you? I enjoy playing soccer. Do you like sports? This keeps the conversation flowing and makes it feel friendly. Now let's move to opinions. Sharing your opinions lets people know how you think or feel about something. Common phrases to use are, I think, I believe, or in my opinion. For example, I think this movie is exciting. In my opinion, learning English is fun. I believe sunny days are the best. Opinions can be about anything, movies, books, food, or even the weather. Try answering this question. What do you think about weekends? You could say, I think weekends are the best time to relax. Or, I believe weekends are great for spending time with family. Practicing opinion sentences helps your thoughts flow more easily. You can also ask others what they think. For example, what do you think about this restaurant? How do you feel about this music? These types of questions show interest and make conversations more engaging. Let me give you an example. Imagine a friend says, I enjoy watching TV shows. You could reply, oh, me too. I love funny TV shows. What's your favorite? Or, if they say, I don't like hiking, you could say, really? I think hiking is fun because I love nature. This small back and forth helps build a great connection. Here are more examples of likes, dislikes, and opinions. Likes. I really like summer because the weather is warm. I love traveling to different places. I enjoy spending time with my family. Dislikes. I don't enjoy waking up early in the morning. I'm not a fan of cold weather. I hate traffic. It's so stressful. Opinions. I think reading books is a great way to learn new things. In my opinion, cats make the best pets. I believe being kind to others is very important. One of my students, Daisy, was very shy at first. She didn't know how to share her likes and dislikes, so she would simply say yes or no during conversations. But we practiced together. First, we made a list of her favorite things. I love dancing, I enjoy listening to music, and I like chocolate cake. Then we practiced dislikes. I don't like rainy days. I'm not a fan of long car rides. Slowly, Daisy felt more confident, and now she can easily talk about anything she likes or dislikes with her friends. You can do this too, step by step. Here's a fun challenge for you. Write down 3 things you like and 3 things you don't like. Then write one opinion. For example, I like sunny days. I like watching movies. I love eating pizza. I don't like running. I'm not a fan of broccoli. I hate waiting in long lines. In my opinion, learning new languages is exciting. Once you write them, say them out loud. Imagine you're sharing these in a conversation with someone. Little by little, it becomes easier to talk about yourself in English. Remember, when you share your likes, dislikes, and opinions, it's not just about words. It's about expressing who you are and connecting with others. People feel closer to you when you tell them your thoughts and feelings, so don't be shy. Be proud to share your favorites and ideas. Here's one last reminder. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. And the more you talk, the more natural it becomes. It's okay to start small. Even saying, "I like chocolate," is a great step forward. Every sentence counts. You're doing so well, my friend. You're building the skills you need to have real conversations in English. Keep going. Your progress is inspiring, and I can't wait to see how much more you'll grow. Let's keep climbing. You've got this.